Hey folks, today I'm going to be doing something I do every year. I'm going to be grinding the last harvest for one of my growers. And this time, I'm going to be doing something a little different with the peppers, and I'll tell you all about what I'm doing. So come on and join me and let's grind some habanero. Folks, this is still from Alabama Hot Sauce. That's alabamahotsauce.com on the web. I'm here today in my kitchen, and I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be grinding today what I call the last harvest of one of my growers. I got a couple of local growers here. One of them grows peppers and harvests twice a week, and I buy them. But he reaches a point where he simply had enough, and so he usually calls me and says, last harvest. Now, last harvest is something very specific. It is, in the case of habaneros, it's all the habaneros he's got left on his plant. He pulls them all. He does not segregate them by color, as you can see. He just simply brings them to me. And so this is last harvest. Now, typically on the last harvest, I do something a little different with them. Since they're mixed peppers, they're probably slightly mixed flavors. I typically save the last harvest picking to make pepper jelly. Now, when I make pepper jelly, I use a couple of different little techniques. For instance, I don't ferment these peppers, but I pickle them in pure vinegar. And that's important for a number of reasons. Pure vinegar stops the enzymes because of the low pH that destroy the pectin in these habanero peppers. Now, peppers don't have a lot of pectin, but they have enough pectin to make the jelly a really nice texture. So when I dump these out today, instead of fermenting them, I'm going to be putting a little salt in there and covering them with pure vinegar. And then later on, as the fall approaches and early winter approaches, I'll be using these to make pepper jelly. So let's get started. Now, what I've got here, I've had a total of about 8 bushels, I think it was. And so I've got about 1.5 bushels here in this container. I'm going to put them in my big Hobart grinder here, and we're going to grind them up. Now, not as much as I do when I ferment, but just enough so we can pickle them really good. Now, I'll hit these a lick before I put the rest of them in, just to get them turned down a little bit. There you go, that's the reduced stuff. We wallow. Good grief. Pardon me. I know better than to do that, but lay it out sometimes. So when I open it again, I'm gonna grab that next. Need a bit. There we are. Now, I think before I open it again, I'm gonna get my mask on. It don't completely stop it, but it helps something. And back away a little bit here. Now, I want you to take a look at what we got here. This stuff is wonderful. I absolutely love it. Now I'm going to get a few more and put in there, and I'll be back with you. Now we're adding a few more peppers. We're going to give this a spin. Folks, I can't tell you how important it is to have this grinder. This thing makes the process of processing pepper sauce so easy. Now, of course, before I open this baby up, I'm going to go back to the mask. And there we go. We got perfectly ground habanero peppers. These things are going to be wonderful. Now, I've got a bucket here that's 6.5 gallons. And inside this bucket, I've got a sanitary bucket liner. So we start raking these things off in the bucket. These things look wonderful. With the combination of salt and vinegar, these will make perfect pickled pepper mash. Different than clearly different than fermentation, but it'll be perfect for jelly. I'm gonna guess this is about probably 60 pounds of pepper, maybe. There's 2 bushels, so probably pretty easily 60 pounds. For whatever reason, this grower, all of his peppers, regardless of the type this year, were exceptionally fine. So that's a little unusual. We've talked quite a bit about why, and we really don't have a consensus as to why they're so light. But they also have a wonderful, deep flavor. So I'm quite happy with what's happened here with this drawer. All right, folks, we're going to take this into the conditioning room, and I'll show you what it looks like when we add the vinegar and the salt. Be right back. All right, folks, we're back over here in the little kitchen. I got my bucket of peppers we just ground over in the main kitchen. So now we're going to finish up the little process of pickling these and getting them ready to set away until we can make some pepper jelly out of them. So the first thing, I want to show you first. Look at this. Is this beautiful stuff or what? I mean, this is absolutely great. Oh, the temptation is to ferment this so much, but I don't want to do that because I want this for jelly. And for jelly, I need to maintain the pectin. So I'm going to dump in a little bit of salt here. And then I'm going to fill it to cover with plain white distilled vinegar. So we just pour it in there. I don't know how much it'll take, to be honest with you. The peppers is taking up quite a bit of room in this barrel, but we'll fill it to cover with this vinegar. And let's go in here and fish around a little bit and see if we're See how we're doing? Well, I honestly think a gallon covered it. It did. You can see this beautiful stuff. Look at the red color already starting to pull out of those peppers. These things are wonderful. This pepper, because of the way it's ground, will actually be completely pickled probably back tomorrow. Remember, I'm not trying to impart any taste to it, so it's not like I'm making vinegar pickles where we want to let the dill and all that stuff we put in the jar get into pickle. We simply want to preserve it. Pickling peppers immediately lowers the pH, which eliminates the enzymatic damage to the pectin that's in the pepper. So even though you could make pepper jelly, which is my intent here, with fermented peppers or with raw peppers, immediately when you cut those peppers, those enzymes start to destroy the pectin. And that destruction continues until the pH falls down below about 4.0. So by immediately pickling, as soon as we ground these up, by getting them in vinegar, it lowers the pH, it maintains the integrity of the pectin that's in the pepper. That pectin that's in the pepper is going to play a gigantic role when I make jelly out of this stuff. So anyway, folks, there you go. That's the grinding and pickling of the so-called last harvest of one of my growers. I got an awful lot of this stuff now. Like I said, I think I had eight bushels of it. So I got a tremendous amount of pepper that's pickled. I'm showing you one of them. It's just indicative of all the rest. They all look the same. I appreciate you joining me for this video. I'd really like it if you would take a moment to subscribe to my website. And while you're there, give me a thumbs up to let me know if I'm doing the right thing with these videos and you like my content. Or if you don't, give me a thumbs down. I'll at least know where I stand. And please ring that bell so YouTube will know to notify you each time I produce new content. Once again, folks, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This stuff looks good. I might have to make some relish out of this. Out of some of it. No.
Bad when you were grinding it?
Oh, yeah, it was bad when I was grinding it. It was miserable when I was grinding it. I mean to tell you, it was miserable. I didn't like it even a little bit. This guy's peppers are pungent as hell. I don't know why. Hey, folks, thank you for joining me today. If you would, take a moment to push the logo and subscribe to my website. While you're here, I've left a couple of suggestions for videos I think you'll enjoy. Give them a click and watch. Once again, thank you.